It's for my belly pain and constipation. I've had it up to a year.
It's been month after month of fiber.
Weeks taking probiotics.
Days and nights of laxatives, only to have my symptoms return.
If you've had enough, tell your doctor what you've tried and how long you've been at it. Linzess works differently from laxatives. Linzess treats adults with IBS with constipation or chronic constipation. It can help relieve your belly pain and lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements that are easier to pass. Do not give Linzess to children less than 6, and it should not be given to children 6 to less than 18. It may harm them. Don't take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor about managing your symptoms proactively with Linzess.
Stanley Steamer is certified asthma and allergy friendly because we remove so many allergens, leaving your home cleaner and healthier.
That's why I call.
Call or go online for our $99 special.
Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
Experience advanced safety technology at the Lexus Golden Opportunity sales event before it ends.
Choose from the IS Turbo, ES350, or NX Turbo for $299 a month for 36 months if you lease now.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
It's your first day on the job. Walk in like you own the place. Now at Men's Warehouse, get 3 for $99 dress shirts plus buy one, get one on select items. It's time to like the way you look.
Okay, careful. Oh.
All this stuff.
Such a waste. Gorilla Glue.
Of course.
Gorilla Glue bonds wood, stone, metal, ceramic, and more. Gorilla Glue for the toughest jobs on planet Earth.
Oh, hey, Mom. Now that we have your attention, Capri Sun has 4 updated drinks. Now with only the good stuff. Do you know how to use those? Get those kids some new Capri Sun.
It's been building up over decades. And through 35 years of severe weather, it's strengthened into trust. Trust in the Weather Channel. To us, nothing matters more. Every season, every storm, every time we watch, trust the Weather Channel.
Closed captioning brought to you by Aruba. One happy island.
Some locations are going to see more rainfall than they've ever dealt with in recorded history. This is just the beginning of what will be days and days of torrential and life-threatening rainfall and inland flooding. It's going to rain and rain and rain. It's not going to stop. And it may be days before it ends up finally stopping. They're not just wind events, they are water. And water is the biggest killer in landfalling tropical systems. It's a horrible situation, a terrible situation.
All right, welcome back to our coverage of Hurricane Harvey, now still a Category 1 hurricane as of the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center, now moving to the north at 2 miles per hour. An incredible flood threat setting up here. This is far from over. It's going to go on right through the middle of the week, and let's talk about what we're seeing right now. There again is the latest advisory from the Hurricane Center, now moving north at 2 miles per hour, not moving very much at all. That is going to be the calling card of the system in the coming days, the fact that it really will not be moving. There is now a tornado warning to the north of Houston. This is Liberty and San Jacinto counties, seeing a little bit of a spin right in there. Oftentimes these are very transient. They tend to get tight for a frame or two and then begin to loosen up. Nonetheless, there is some potential for a tornado here to the north and west of Cleveland as it moves off the northwest at about 40 miles per hour, coming up towards Route 150. Larger picture showing you that core that is still going very close to Victoria. Very serious wind damage earlier today. That wind damage potential now winding down, and this is transitioning into more of a flash flood threat. An enormous flash flood warning now in effect from Houston on in southwestward going until 11:30. We've already had as much as 10 inches of rain to the north of I-10 there, and so much more rain on the way. There's a look at the closer picture in Houston. You see there's a little bit of a break right now, and hopefully that'll help things out a bit. But we've just got so much rain in the forecast. This is extremely disconcerting, and we hope folks do make sure that they get themselves out of harm's way as this rain comes down over the next few days here. We want to go out to Mike Seidel in Port Lavaca. And Mike, I know you bore the brunt of that eye wall last night. Did you actually get into the eye wall for a time?
We got on the edge of the eastern eye wall, yes. But with that said, you don't have to get into the worst of it. Thank goodness we didn't here. Unfortunately for the folks in Aransas County, the Rockport area, they got hit pretty hard down towards Aransas Pass and also parts of Nueces County. One thing that has changed here in the past half an hour or so, the sky has brightened up, visibility has come up a good bit, and the rain has lightened up. And that's fine with everybody around here. We've had over 7 inches of rain. Also, the water has backed off some. I did hear Carl Parker mention that the gauge here has backed off to about 5.2 feet. So it's down a little over a foot, 1.2 feet from that record of 6.4. And I can begin to notice that here in the parking lot. There is a lot of interesting debris that has basically floated in here from Lavaca Bay. Gosh knows where it came from. May have come down Matagorda Bay, because we're about 25 miles inland from the Gulf. Nothing to block the wind, as you can see. But we didn't have the wind that they had off to our south and west, because we never took the direct hit of the eye wall and never got into the eye like they did when the winds went calm last night in Rockport. So with that said, we've got the aftermath to deal with here. We've got to get this water to recede. It is receding slowly, but typically the water will go right back out once the wind goes offshore. But our wind is not blowing offshore; it's still coming in from the east, the general east direction, until the wind either dies down or shifts around offshore, which doesn't seem imminent at all today or even tomorrow. We're going to have the water running higher than average. Let's go back to Chris Bruin now. He's in San Antonio. Their situation is only going to go downhill. It's just beginning to
most concerned about is this how long lasting it is, and we will get breaks in rain. It is not going to rain every moment of every single day. Today, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. However, there's going to be inches, if not feet, of rain. In fact, feet is the more likely a calculation we'll be using. So, Chris, that's my main concern, is that people will, start to venture out. You get cabin fever. You have to go to work. You have to go to the grocery store. There's things you need to do, right? The concern is that if you live in a flood-prone area, or if you know that your route will take you into, excuse me, a flood-prone area, you can't go that way. You got to get out of your home if it's flood-prone, because we don't want to get in a situation where you need to be rescued. The rain that we've had so far in Houston has been on the order of several inches. It's ranged from 3.5 inches in town. East side of town is getting more because of that band that is set up right now. West side of town got more when the band was especially heavy through the early morning hours. So you got picked up in a few spots 5 or 6 inches of rain. And now we're waiting for that next sort of outer edge to pivot on in. And here in the Houston area, likely to see that bring some of our heaviest of rainfall. I do want to mention quickly the cancellations. We're up over 500 cancellations now at Bush Intercontinental. Harvey has cancellations numbering over 100. The percentage of flights canceled has gone up significantly. In fact, it's up over 50% at Bush. So if you have a flight, you need to check ahead, because it may or may not be going, and there are some delays as well with the ground delay program in effect there. All right, let's go back to Carl Parker in the studio and talk more, Carl, just about the timing and the duration. Like I just told Chris Bruin, my biggest concern is that people will put their guard down, because there will be breaks in the rain. It's nearly impossible to rain constantly for days like that.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. And we can only hope that the breaks are long enough that we don't see really terrible flooding in the Houston metro and surrounding areas. But I think that is a distinct possibility. We could be talking about flooding along the lines of what we saw with Allison in 2001. Here is the reason why. This is the model forecast, a high-resolution model showing you the storm sitting in the same area, and you see that conveyor belt, that arm of moisture that just drives up and into the Houston area right through late tomorrow, and that's not really even going to change going into Monday or into Tuesday. So what we've got here are really unbelievable rainfall totals across the region. Now, as Jen mentioned, it's going to come down differently in different areas. There are going to be banding features that set up, and so we're going to see different rainfall rates in different parts of the region. It may not end up looking like this, but if it looks anything like this, or if we get more in some areas, especially right into the drainage basins, you've got bayous all over the city there, then you're going to be talking about tremendous flooding in that region. And we look to Buffalo Bayou. Once we get to 60 feet, we see major lowland flooding, water entering homes above the gauge level. And that is where we expect to be in the next day or so, getting up to record level there, Buffalo Bayou, near Houston. A tremendous amount of water on the way for the Houston metro area. We're going to be talking about this unfolding disaster with Hurricane Harvey, and our live team coverage continues in just a couple of minutes right here on the Weather Channel.
It's fall. The geese are headed south, and it's time for you to hit the woods. The season is coming fast, so it's time to button things up, find where they hide, and pattern the deer you seek. Because this year, your hours in the blind will last for a lifetime. Cabela's Great Outdoor Days sale and events, your one stop before the field. Save $70 on select Cabela's Masterbuilt Sportsman Elite smokers. Shop in store and online.
Well, here's to first dates. You look amazing.
And you look amazingly comfortable. When your V-neck looks more like a U-neck, that's when you know it's half washed. Add Downy to keep your collars from stretching. Unlike detergent alone, Downy conditions to smooth and strengthen fibers. So don't half wash it. Downy, and it's done.
When a fire is going on, you're not thinking clearly, so they called the fire department for us.
I could hear crackling in the walls. My mind went totally blank. All I remember saying was, my boyfriend's beating me, and we took it from there.
And all of this occurred in 4 minutes or less.
I am grateful we all made it out safely.
People you don't know care about you. It's kind of one of those things where you can't even pick somebody.
To protect what you love, call 1-800-ADT-CARES.
If you've ever considered getting a walk-in tub, we have great news.
No more cold seats. For a limited time, when you purchase a Safe Step walk-in tub, we'll upgrade your order to include our newest feature, a heated seat.
That's a $600 value. Free.
But that's not all. The new and improved dual hydrotherapy system now has foot massaging jets to help soothe aching feet.
And as always, Safe Step walk-in tubs are built to maximize safety so you can stay in your home and enjoy the comforts of bathing again.
Call the number on your screen now for more information and a free, no-obligation consultation.
Our new walk-in tub is affordable and could change your life.
Thousands of people just like you are already enjoying the safety and luxury comfort of their Safe Step walk-in tub. Financing is available, so call 1-800-846-1717. That's 1-800-846-1717. You deserve it. Call and get yours today.
You may not be a prepper now, but you will be. Whether the next disaster is man-made or wrought by Mother Nature, you need a plan. WiseFoodStorage.com's emergency gourmet meals are made in the USA, delicious, easy to prepare, just add water, and packaged and proportioned perfectly, eliminating waste and creating a shelf life of up to 25 years.
Get your free sample now. Call in the next 15 minutes and get your free survival guide. Call 888-773-2195.
Looking for balance in your digestive system? Try Align Probiotic. For a non-stop, sweet treat goodness, hold on to your Tiara kind of day. Get 24/7 digestive support with Align, the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Also in kids' chewables.
I make it easy to save $600 on car insurance, so being cool comes naturally. I can't decide if this place is swag or bling. It's pretzels. Bird. Ladies, you know when you switch, you get my non-diggity discounts automatically. No duh, right? Sir, you forgot. Keep it. You're gonna need it when I make it precipitate. What? What?
Dude, you're crunching, scaring the fish.
Dude, they're just jealous. Kellogg's Raisin Bran Crunch with crunchy clusters and the taste of apples and strawberries.
I got one.
Guess we're having cereal for dinner. Kellogg's Raisin Bran Crunch Apple Strawberry.
For a limited time, you can get this fresh, juicy Boston Market rotisserie chicken for $1.99 when you buy any family meal. Now, your next few dinners are taken care of. Boston Market.
And we're continuing to track Harvey as we bring you the latest. I'm in Houston, Texas. Continuing to track Harvey, and I'm in Houston, Texas. A little bit of rain back into the picture. It's been on and off. We've been in a couple of showers now after that main band has pivoted through here, that outer band, which is, by the way, brought tremendous rain. West side of town here saw 4 to 5 inches of rain. The east side is getting about that much right now. We got about 2 to 3 in town as it went through. But there's also been some tornadoes warnings within that outer band as well. So that's something else we've been keeping a close watch on. Carl, you know, we know that there's still a tornado threat. It will be that way through today. And the thing is with these tornadoes and landfalling tropical systems, they happen so fast, there's often not a lot of warning. So you really just need to be on guard for that.
Yeah, that's really true, Jen. They often will spin up. You'll see them in one scan, and then before you know it, it begins to loosen up already. So they tend to be very quick. They tend to be fleeting, and also you've got very low cloud bases. You've got a lot of rain in many cases, so you might not even get a look at the tornado warning. So you just need to duck quickly, basically, when they are issued. And there's a look at the satellite picture from when the storm came in, making landfall last night near Port Aransas and Rockport, and boy, did we get some wind out of that system. Tremendous amount of wind in some areas along the coast, gusts up to 130 miles per hour in some areas. This is a look at the top recorded wind gusts across the region. Capano Village, 125 miles per hour. We're on the west side of the eye wall there in Corpus, so got just up to hurricane force, and then 132 in Port Aransas and 109 in Rockport. We are hearing about very serious wind damage there as a result of that. That wind is not over yet. It's going to take some time to slow down. You've got a very powerful system that continues to draw warm and humid air off the Gulf of Mexico, so you've still got a power source nearby, not directly underneath the system, but it is nearby, and for that reason, you've still got some wind out there. It's going to be very slow to come down. Wind still gusting to 51 now in Brazos, and now gusting to 45 miles per hour in Gonzales. Let's get over to Mike Seidel. He's in Port Lavaca, and Mike, one of the big problems with this system is, of course, we've got this onshore flow that's going to continue for a long, long time, and that's not going to let the water down very quickly.
Indeed, it's backed off a little bit, about a foot. It changed from 6.4 feet. But as I look off to the east, and based on radar, things are brightening up. The sky is getting brighter. The rain is really backed off. So some promising changes here. I want to share you, though, We're able to get outside now. We had to keep our camera dry, and we're going to come down here and show you what has floated in. We're not sure where that came from. It looks like, oh, I see what we have. Can we walk down here? Mark Weiss, hats off to Mark Weiss. Long days and dealing with the weather. These cameras, these breakaway walls got blown down, and they were expecting this. Excuse me. So what we have here is the underbelly of the hotel, the basement, which they call the ground floor, all storage. And there's some PVC. Let's go down. You want to go down a little bit farther? And we'll just see what we've got here. Wow, look at this. Again, the hotel itself is fine, a little water in the hotel, but this was expected. These are what they call breakaway walls, and those hurricane force wind gusts did take them out all the way up front. But you can see how the water has backed off out front too, so it's now back on the other side of the seawall, just about. I want to go back up here. Let's walk back up here, show our fine viewers at home a little bit more of what's going on. Well, there's Highway 35, and we're starting to see a little traffic. Notice the parking lot is littered with PVC piping and other debris, a vehicle coming in. The highway is open, but across the street, that's Lighthouse Beach. That is all underwater. And look, we've got the looky loser back out, getting video and pictures. So we've got some life coming back out. Now, Jen Parfagna, we've got some more pictures to show you, but that gives you an idea of what happened here at the hotel. That's why they built it up like that. The ground floor has been hit pretty hard, but everything else is in really, really good shape. Jen, back to you in Houston.
Tremendous job out there, Mike. Tremendous job to you and your whole crew. You guys have done a fantastic job of showing us what has happened, and then actually how you prepared as well for yourselves to stay safe during the storm. That was fantastic. I do want to talk about some of the latest information of what we know with Hurricane Harvey, and it is still a hurricane. So Houston's Office of Emergency Management is telling residents that they should avoid travel. High water is starting to rise over roads in the Houston metro area. And the city of Corpus Christi is asking residents to not flush their toilets to use the water. We'll be right back with more.
You could be my love. Even if the sky is falling down, I know that we'll be safe and sound.
So many Americans struggle with finances. Starting today, State Farm is here to help, giving us all the chance to simply sit down and learn. Visit letstarttoday.com or talk to an agent.
We're safe and sound.
With the Home Advisor app, it's easy and free to find home pros for any project, from a simple repair to a major remodel. Tell them what you need and get connected to top-rated local pros. Start your next project with Home Advisor.
As Harvey's path continues, there is one place to turn to and to trust. Taking you to the front lines, keeping you ahead of the storm. Experts breaking down the science behind the system.
It is a life-threatening situation.
Tracking every possible path.
The impacts here are going to be catastrophic.
Whether we're getting you through it or taking you to it, trust in the Weather Channel.
And these are the ones.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
Honey.
At our house, we need things that are built to last. That's why we got a Subaru.
Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Get 0% APR financing for 63 months on all new 2017 Legacies. Ends August 31st. With Scotch Blue Platinum Painter's Tape, you can prep any angle quicker and easier. 3M's advanced poly material helps stop paint seepage, and it's easy to remove in one long pull, so you can pull off a better paint job. Scotch Blue Platinum Painter's Tape.
Not quite that, but it feel like it. York, kept the sensation.
I love kiwis. I've always had that issue with the seeds getting under my denture. Super Poly Grip Free, it creates a seal of the dentures in my mouth.
Just a few dabs is clinically proven to seal out more food particles. Try Super Poly Grip Free.
What does life look like during your period? It's up to you. With Tampax Pearl, you get ultimate protection on your heaviest days and smooth removal for your lightest. Tampax Pearl and Pocket Pearl for on the go.
Gentlemen, Vegan Skinny Strips or Vegan Black Label. What a delicious dilemma. Vegan Strips Premium Edition. With real meat as ingredient one. Everything to your liking. Vegan Strips Premium. Because vegan!
In 12 feet, come to a complete stop. Recalculating. In 1 mile, arrive at a place where you make your own lane, only to discover it has traffic jams too. Your all-new Compass.
Well-qualified current lessees of competitive vehicles get a low mileage lease on the all-new 2017 Jeep Compass for $185 a month.
Oh my gosh, that's Frank Thomas. Yes, that's him. Go ahead. Excuse me, are you Frank Thomas?
Yes, I am.
I bet you get recognized a lot.
I was a pretty good ball player.
You were?
Some people thought so.
Sorry, we recognize you from those Nugenics commercials.
Oh, yeah? That's great.
So does Nugenics really work?
Oh, yeah. I really can feel the difference. My workouts are better, and I feel a lot more energetic.
I wish my husband would use Nugenics.
It's so easy to get started. All you have to do is send one simple text.
Text 42424 and enter FIRM for a complimentary bottle of award-winning Nugenics, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Its unique man-boosting formula is powered by Testofen, a patented key ingredient clinically researched to help a man feel stronger, leaner, more energetic, and more passionate. And you're going to like the difference, too. Text 42424 and enter FIRM for a complimentary bottle of Nugenics. Samples are not available in stores. Text 42424 and enter FIRM.
When it turns serious, the first thing I'm thinking is, how do I communicate the message very clearly to people so they understand what the risk is and how to get through this?
And we're back covering Harvey. It is still a hurricane churning over Texas, made landfall as a Category 4, which really got the nation's attention. In fact, just saw a new report coming in from New York State that Governor Cuomo of New York deployed the New York Air National Guard personnel and aircraft to assist in Hurricane Harvey response. And certainly there's going to be need. I mean, we have a tremendous amount of damage, I think, still yet to see where it made landfall with winds of 130 miles per hour, still with winds at 75 miles per hour, and an expanded, tropical storm force wind field of over 100 miles, which is still affecting us down around Victoria, Texas, and even some of those gusty winds getting close to the San Antonio area as well. I'm in Houston, and wind has not been our problem. It's been all about the heavy rain, and the rain yet to come, actually, is our story here in Houston. We've had some rain right through the overnight. Started with one band that set up shop over the east side of town, or the west side of town for a while, putting down 4 or 5 inches of rain. Then pivoted in this morning here to where I am in downtown Houston. You can see the skyline behind me. Actually, a decent view right now, low clouds. But overall, the sky is fairly bright. But what happened is, 4 or 5 inches west of town into the Buffalo Bayou, and 2 inches or so in town, and all that water in the Buffalo Bayou is right behind me, up out of its banks. So the concern is, as we get more rain, the bayou, this one and the other ones in the area, will go even farther out of the banks and cause flooding issues. So flooding is indeed the #1 concern for us here in Houston from Harvey. Also in San Antonio, and that's where we find Chris Bruin today. Chris, you're going to have a gradient of rain. The east side of town will get much more than the west. What is the messaging like in town about this storm? Because it will be a different story depending on where you live.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And again, I think a lot of residents are heeding the warnings, again, for not being hit in so long. And we go back to 1800 here in San Antonio, and there have only been 6 tropical cyclones that have passed within 50 miles of the city. Hurricane Harvey sits 90 miles to our east-southeast. So it is getting very close. Of course, it is weakening as it comes in. But just because the hurricane has made landfall, this is only the beginning here for the hill country. It is going to be the flooding. That's the biggest concern. And we're talking life-threatening, especially where those heavier pockets end up, which will likely be to the east of I-35. But keep in mind, we're in the hill country as well. The beginning of the hill country is just to our northwest, where you start to get into 1,000 to 2,000 feet elevation, a lot more topography and terrain, and that only makes that flash flooding concern worse. The mayor wanted everyone, especially visitors and evacuees here in San Antonio, to remind them that we are in flash flood alley. Again, not a stranger. The city is not a stranger to flash flooding, and this is going to be our greatest concern. The winds have also been picking up over the past 4 or 5 hours. They've been consistently getting up to tropical storm gusts. And I just checked the latest power outages, and we're up to about 6,000 now in the San Antonio metro. And keep in mind, this city is full of oaks and a very large canopy, and they haven't been rocked like this for this long in quite some time. So power outages are also going to be a big problem.
Don't you know each cloud contains malice from heaven?
So this is a look at a water spout that occurred just west of Bradenton, Florida at Holmes Beach. Certainly possibly tied into 92L. There were also water spouts sighted around the Keys. And we got to talk about 92L because it is definitely still setting the stage for lots of flooding rain over central and southern Florida, as well as the northwestern Bahamas as we go through the next couple of days. Now, there's still a medium chance of future development with this system, so Invest 92L could wind up becoming Irma. But again, right now the concern is over the rainfall that we're seeing, as well as the increase in winds, and also the rough surf that's going to be happening along just the coastlines of Georgia and the Carolinas as we go through early next week. Here is a look at the rainfall forecast, so please stay on top of 92L updates.
It's not up to us to define the Grateful Dead. It's this living, breathing thing. And that's one of the